Boys, round 10 TLT is finally here. How are we, boys? Flat store, we're back.
We are back. My first TLT of the year as well.
Yeah, welcome, mate.
Yeah, welcome, Flats. Yeah,
Good introduction with the new headsets and everything.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Speaking of, boys, like we got some great feedback on the headsets, the mics. It's all about the viewer audience here at All Out Community. So we appreciate all the feedback with that one, don't we, Dor?
Oh, we do. And we won't actually have to hold it soon when we get the mounts arrive. So
Yes.
they should just be a bit more natural.
Look, boys, I personally got a lot of feedback about the outro, the outro music that we had going, and some people requested a intro music, but I've done one better, and I want everyone's thoughts. So I've done, instead of intro music, I've done something else. Here we go. Hope you enjoy. Goodbye.
That's not a try, that's a miracle.
That's not a try, that's a miracle.
Kicks in field, look who's there. Tom
Oh, Tommy Turbo.
My goodness. Billy Fraser, he has scored one of the great Origin tries.
Jeez, we're going really down memory lane here, gents.
How many are there?
You can take me now. See
I have seen it all.
So instead of intro music, I decided, why not some NRL commentary to start the podcast, and we can have that running while we sit here and ponder our thoughts.
I don't mind
to start the podcast.
But Dan Ganine, no thank you.
You don't like the Dan Gannett?
No.
Why
I don't.
not?
I'd rather blocker.
Oh, big blocker roach.
Blocker Roach. So tell us how you thought of that little spiel there with the NRL commentary. I'm sure we can update some if there's some comments with the better with the updates.
I actually don't mind the little music piece that's on there to start it off, but we'll see what the viewers say.
Yeah, we'll see what they say. Boys, Dolphins, Manly to start us off this Thursday. Now, the boys were thinking Tim Naki is popping off on the socials right now, Flats, and you're all over him. He actually lost his last two bets. And if you don't know him, he bets 10 cents for every Instagram follow he has on blackjack. Now, what we were thinking at All Out is we do the exact same thing, but 1 cent for every follow that we have on an NRL try scorer. Now, we're thinking about doing it on Thursday, which means it's a $220 bet. I believe it is what the follows are at now. Dolphins, Manly. Is there a person here that you're standing out that we can put all the money on to start us off well for the syndicate?
I'm going to say Garrick, but I don't know what the odds are right now. I don't think they're out, so...
We can check. Dor, you got one while we check?
Yeah. I was going to say if Flats is going to go Garrick, someone from the Dolphin side of things, I'd say Asako. They're probably both going to be paying pretty short. Like I'd say like $2. I'd say $1. I'd say
no. Asako's $1.83 and Garrick is $2.65.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Get on it now, right?
Yeah, that's good. I like that, especially Garrick. $2.63.
So we posed a question to the listeners: who should we back in the Team Naki All Out Special?
I think we should do a little clip or something, clip piece for this. Put it up, and we'll see what the our followers think.
See what they say.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should get the TLT news, fellas. That's why we're here. Wayne Bennett, Herbie's back, fellas.
Herbie is back.
He's a bit of a fantasy relevant sort of guy. Disappointing to see Tessie New out again, my guy, who I got at the start of the year. Also for Manly, Betty Travojevic is back. So those that held him, congratulations. You'll get your 20 points again this week. So shout out to them.
You should go better than that, but yeah, he could get the 20 points. Keddy Bromwich is also back on the bench after missing last week with concussion.
Yeah.
But look, Ewan Aiken, boys, he's definitely. I thought he was going to lose some minutes, but he's still pounding out those 80 minutes.
He's looking like a real centre keeper.
Yeah, he really is.
He's been very special.
He's got the 2RF, I believe, as well. Does he?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got the edge. I'll actually give me 1 second.
He's doing quite well.
I think it's probably the last.
He's a duel.
Yeah, he's a duel.
Yeah,
big
edge
time
center.
duel. Big time duel guy.
I think it's definitely something to monitor. I think because Waddell, I think, will be dropped.
Yep.
Or back to the bench next week with Ola Kawatu returning from suspension next week.
Yep.
Pretty sure it's Magic Round, boys. Next week as
next
well.
week, next week. Before Origin next week. I'm sure we'll be there.
I got the magic in me.
Probably the biggest news out of TLT is Nathan Cleary, the GOAT, is back.
Yes.
Huge news for all our team because our team is shaping up quite nicely with him back in the 17 there. Tago suspended, so for those that had him as a pod, he is gone skis.
Only for the 1 week.
Only
though.
for the 1 week, which is ridiculous compared to Caesar, who got 4.
Poor old
And wasn't
Aiden.
even sin binned. That's for another day, though.
Yep.
Josh Curran is named to start with Sammy Hughes back on the bench for the Doggies. You still got Hughes flats? Or are you running around with Hughes still?
Semi Hughes.
Yeah.
I am, and it's not a bad hold really.
No,
'cause
he's
his
doing well.
break-even's still low, and he's making cash.
I know all outsold him quite a few weeks ago, but that's okay.
I'm pretty sure.
404K now, break even of 9.
Yeah, I don't know where the stat went that I had, but I'm pretty sure that Hughes the last few weeks his minutes has gone up to close to around the 40-minute mark, where in the first few rounds of the season he was only averaging around like just over 20.
Which is bizarre because they said he was the fittest person on the team. So
yeah, so
fitness isn't the issue here.
So if you definitely held Hughes, like his minutes and whatnot are looking really good of late. So it's something to take away. I was going to say that the weak gutted dog, Salmon, is still on the edge.
Good from the week done.
But another thing to note with Salmon is that Preston last week was on the bench and he didn't even come on. He sat so that could be something to worry about this week. So I guess just wait and see.
I'd be looping Salmon.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Play him in your emergencies or reserves.
One more thing about the Panthers. Is there uncertainty about Cleary playing this week?
I don't think so. I think he was just rested last week just for the benefit of that game. They were versing who again?
You never know. Never know, Flats. Like they could he could be ruled out again. It really just it depends. They could be keeping stuff under
they were
in-house.
versing South, who they beat comfortably. So maybe they just wanted to take the extra week with him. So fair enough.
Well, what was that, Flats? Did you want to?
Brad Schneider. That's why.
Brad Schneider does.
I want to get him. That's why.
Yeah.
I don't want to put the captaincy on him, and the next minute I've got to use my vice captain.
Yeah. Brad Schneider's done a terrific job for when he has to step in for Cleary.
Good player.
I think he got like 60 points or something last week. Another thing to note is Liam Henry is also back on the bench for the Panthers. Move on to the Friday
Eels
night
Broncos,
bash.
mate. Eels Broncos. Talagi's got the fullback spot in place of Gutherson, who got injured. Good news for him. Who else is out? Back rower Cartwright returns from rib injury. That's not really fantasy relevant. But the big news here for the Bronx fellas is that Adam Reynolds is out, obviously, with that bicep injury. Josh Rogers takes his place for his second, NRL game.
He plays a lot like Matt Burton, this bloke.
Does he?
Yeah.
You got some intel, man.
I'm pretty sure he's
similar build.
Yeah, he's been going very well for Burleigh, and then I'm pretty sure he scored the most points ever in a season for Wynnum Manly a few years ago.
Okay.
So he's
good
quite
insight.
a player, and I think the other thing with Rogers is I think Kevy was leaning between either him or Tristan Saylor, but they decided to go with Rogers just because he's a bit more experienced. I think he's like 26, 27 years old.
From memory, he's an elite goal kicker as well.
Yeah,
Josh Rogers.
From memory.
He probably.
He
I don't think.
slot them from deep.
I doubt he gets it. I think Walsh will keep the goal kicking, and that's a big thing. If you've got Reece Walsh, that's another thing you can add. Another thing on the Broncos is Gajeski makes his Broncos debut off the bench, and Fletcher Baker has been dropped.
That's okay.
But I guess another thing just with the Eels team cord, like you said, Talagi getting the fullback spot, which is huge for those that have held him. And then obviously Ethan Sanders as well, keeping that 6th spot.
Yeah.
Because, there was obviously Dejan Arce is in the reserves. So I think it's definitely that's something good for if you wanted to pick up Sanders.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
Moses is back soon, but I don't know how soon.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, big news there for out of the Eels. Tigers Knights, not really much to note here. Good news for the Knights, though, and those that picked up Armstrong is that he's got the fullback spot still and no sign of Sharp.
No Fletcher Sharpie.
I thought Armstrong was still okay on the weekend, despite some drop ball in the wet. I can understand that.
Yeah, horrible conditions on the weekend. Absolutely horrible.
I can understand why he's not dropped based on performance. He's been quite good.
Yeah, Frizzell's back as well for the Knights, which is forcing Dylan Lucas back to the bench. I thought Lucas, myself, had been exceptional filling in that second row role.
Yeah.
While Frizzell was gone. You're a big Frizzell man, aren't you, Flatty?
I used to be.
Oh, you used to be.
Injuries have taken him over.
No, that's fair. I think the other thing to make note of the teams is actually in the Tigers side, John Bateman is not at lock. He has gone back to the second row.
That stings.
Switcheroo.
And IPAP has gone to lock. And then also another thing to note is that Jake Simpkin is on the bench for Coruscant owners. So if you didn't sell Coruscant last week, I think with the concern about the back injury, I think he has, and then Origin coming up as well. I personally have Appy in the blue squad. I don't know if he'll start or off the bench, but in some capacity he'll be there.
Yeah.
So I think, and how well Simpkin played, I think it's definitely time to move from Coruscant.
Yeah, it's a big pickup there, or Bateman in the second row. That's big for.
Well,
fantasy
for us
owners,
personally as well, we picked him up.
I mean, we can touch on it in the Buy Hold Sell podcast, but he's been fine.
Great at lock.
Yeah, he's been fine at
fantasy-wise.
second row as well. So.
Yeah.
Rabbits Dragons. Hopefully the Rabbits can turn things around because Latrell Mitchell is back this week. Even though they've lost Murray, Gray, and Hawkins to long-term injuries, which is huge for the Rabbits.
And Task today, and then they've got Host suspended as well. I feel terrible.
Who
for South
is their
fans.
halfback?
So Dion Tupper?
Taupa.
Taupa,
I don't know.
that could be it. Taupa.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, Dion. But look, not actually sure. I wouldn't be touching him this week.
You know you're struggling when you got Michael Cheekham in the centres. And Shibabaski's
and then
back.
they've got big Shibasaki from the Townsville Blackhawks coming down to help them out this weekend. So I think, and then obviously the big one with Cam Murray being out for, I think it's like 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Like that is
that's a huge loss.
Huge hole. So I think me personally, who I'm looking at is I'm looking at the minutes of someone like a Sevilla Havili who's playing lock this week and Tallis Duncan. I know we were a bit keen on Tallis Duncan earlier in the season and he didn't get that opportunity, but potentially now he could be one to not get in this week, but just watch both Havili and Duncan's minutes this week and there could be someone to get in next week.
I mean, Havili's 398k, can fill a void there at hooker. When he plays over 60 minutes, he averages 46.3. So
that's huge.
So that's something to note, I guess. And then if you even filter that again by playing lock, he got 50 once. So not much of a sample size, but it's almost a risk it for the biscuit for these teams. And Murray's obviously out for 8 weeks, so you can take that risk.
Yeah, take a punt on that. But you can definitely wait a week if you wanted to, especially with Origin coming around. He might come into New South Wales squad by game 3 or something like that, or later in the series. So
not really much to note with the Drags.
It's just at all. Tui Pelotu just being dropped with Sully coming back from that ugly concussion that he suffered Anzac Day.
Yeah.
So, that's really it with the Dragons. Apart from big Tommy Eisenhuth. The man is eating.
The Huth.
He got 78 points last week. The man is a PPM machine. It's very unexpected, but Eisenhuth absolutely killed it last week.
601k.
Yeah. He had 78 points, I think. He outscored King Nico.
Yeah, wow.
So,
big from the Huth.
Someone to look at potentially, but who knows if he's going to play those minutes every week.
Big news here for the Storm Sharks game. This is going to be an absolute belter of a fixture, I reckon.
Oh, I can't wait.
Far Logo has got the fullback spot for the injured Pappenhausen. Now, Flats, you were thinking about getting Tedesco in your team. Do you see Far Logo as a potential replacement as well? Pappenhausen out for a month.
I honestly think if you got Pap, I think, what's his name?
Far Logo.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Su'a.
Yeah.
I reckon he's the go-to considering Teddy's got Origin in the next 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
I reckon it's your safest option and your cheapest option at the same time. So I reckon,
I think that's a good shout, Flats. I think the only other person that we obviously Bence mentioned last week is Fish of the Week. But
the Brimson.
The Brim.
What a great fish of the week that was, by the way.
he'd be someone else that I'm looking at, but I'm
And
worried
Garrick.
about Campbell.
Garrick's also a
Garrick,
great shout.
Garrick, great shout.
Yeah,
And
Garrett's
then
a
maybe
must-have.
Joey Manu, who created that beautiful vlog that gave us some beautiful content on Tyrrell May and his fantasy and Supercoach ownership. So, yeah, I think everything else is pretty much straightforward, isn't it, Cord?
Pretty much straightforward. I mean, Nico
don't-
Hines, we said last week he was the buy of the week, and he delivered once again. He was a bit. I was a bit worried at halftime, I will say, but he flicked the switch in the second half. So good on Nico. He's doing very well.
Great for Adco as well. We haven't really heard anything about Trindle, have we?
No, we haven't. Maybe
of-
the Sharks are trying to keep it under the media radar, and
Yeah.
he's just been given a private suspension. Who knows?
Yeah, potentially.
Who knows?
Atco with a break even of 8. I thought he was pretty good last week.
Yeah, he was good. He'll continue to get better.
Yeah,
and better
around
as we
like
go.
those 30 to, or probably like 25 to 40 points
Yeah.
scores. So not too bad to make a bit of cash from.
Now, this is where we start laughing, fellas. Terrell May, yes, he got 66 last week. Yes, he still lost money. But this is the great news, because for those that sold, Jared Warrior Hargraves, Victor Radley, and Lenu are all back from suspension. Also, Daniel Tupou. Look, Terrell May, if he wasn't a sell last week, he is now.
Yeah, you definitely. The other thing is as well with player that I mentioned last week, I think on the buy, hold, sell, Connor Watson, who absolutely killed it last week. I think got 91 points.
Back to the bench.
At lock is back to the bench. So he should play big minutes, but it's not going to be the 80 minutes that he got last week.
Yeah.
I think he'll relieve Brandon Smith at some point and play a bit of hooker, but it's a bit of a risk to buy someone on the bench. So yeah, I'd say stay away.
Stay
I
away,
think
yeah.
from Watto, and yeah, I think May's minutes are definitely going to come down considering as you said, Lenu back and JWH. So
There's 3 props on the bench here.
yeah, so
Yeah. Take
Yeah.
it as you will.
take it as you will. You could ride another week,
You
be a
could.
bit risky, but it might be definitely the time to sell.
Yeah, big time.
Tyrrell. Or if you're holding, I reckon just hold till because he plays the buy rounds as well, and he should get more minutes there in the buy rounds. So if you're willing to, if you can play him on the bench or something, then
Yep.
it could be good to hold him for that.
Yeah, big
because he'll
time.
get big minutes.
For the Waz AFB flats, he's been eating. We got him in this same week.
Yum, 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 yum.
His break even when we got him was like 40 something, and AFB, I believe he's now over that 750k mark, which is what we want to see. 800k. There you go.
Yeah, he's a keeper.
Yeah.
He's a machine.
We get him in.
Good for
2
Origin.
tries.
Good for
Can't ask for
Origin.
much more.
Yeah, I don't think he plays the first one, but he definitely plays the second buy
Yeah.
round 16.
Yep. Yep.
The only other thing to take away from that WAS team list is that Kurt Capewell or Cape Wah is
Okay. Wow.
is out. So Mitchell Barnett is actually gone into the second row, not Jacob Laban, who was a laid out last week. He's gone to 18th man.
Yep.
I think Tavunga's back. I don't think I've seen Tavunga. He's been out injured, so that's something to note as well.
Look, a pretty boring TLT, I won't lie. It rounds out with Titans and the Cows. For the Titans, Tanner Boyd's out, which means who comes in for him? It's Chris Randall in the
Oh my
halves.
word!
That's,
Well,
I've seen it all.
Look who's back.
Kieran Foran is
Kinney.
back.
Back again.
Oh, Keeney's back.
I'm talking about the Keeney.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Key-
He
Keeney.
scammed everyone at the start of fantasy.
Look, he was a buy, and I stand by it.
Oh, we might
Big
be.
Keanu Keeney.
I don't know if we're very keen on Keeney this week
Look-
on the bench, but
A couple of weeks ago, we said Kieran Foran was a buy because Tanner Boyd wasn't be kicking. Kieran Foran, when Boyd doesn't play, I believe, if you got the stats up there, averages like 700 or 600 kick meters.
yeah, he's been going. Foran's been going. He actually went really well last week, but that was when Boyd went off. Like he said, he played halfback against the Raiders in that game that went to extra time.
Yep.
He got 661 kick meters, and then on the weekend, obviously, he would have gone to half again, and got 464 kick meters. So you're going to get around, I'd say roughly, you're going to get average around like 500 odd kick meters, which is going to get you around like 17 points or something like that.
Yep.
I think fantasy wise, just judging from the 2 scores here. Look, he's actually. I hate to say it, But I think he could be one to look at especially with they got Cowboys, Knights, Broncos, Rabbitohs, Tigers, Warriors as their upcoming games.
And they're not playing bad footy. I mean, he has David Fifita outside him who's going really well as well. He's an obvious buy. I don't care if he's 800 and whatever K. He's a buy, David Fifita.
Yeah, the only concern is just Origin. Like if you don't play overall, you just buy someone like David Fifita if you're playing head to head because he is an absolute gun. But Foreign is look, after seeing that, and because Tanner Boyd, I'm pretty sure is going to be out for anywhere from around 4 to for a month or 2 months. I'm looking at Foreign. Yeah, he doesn't play the first bye round, but he's definitely plays the second one.
Yeah,
and I think the third one as well. So. This news might have got me keen. Not keen on Keeney, but keen on Kieran Foran, boys.
Good news for the Cows. Fine Fuiaki is being named to start again and Lukey off the bench. I'm okay with Fuiaki getting 34, 40. That's fine for me. He's still getting
He's still making money, yeah.
I think you've got a few more weeks with him.
Yeah, that's the same with someone like Joe Chan above. In the Storm, I'm pretty sure they've got pretty similar break evens around that 10 to 15 range.
Yep.
So
definitely good for those that kept Ruben Cotter over the weeks because he was gobbling last week after that try. Special.
That was a special performance from Cotter. Man, he broke so many tackles in that try. That's why it was so good. Just quickly, boys, I just got to touch on my man, Big Thomas McKaylee. Bloody hell. I wish he got some more minutes. He gets around 30. I reckon he'd get 50 points in 30 minutes, I reckon. He got me, I think, 34 points last week. And wow, I just think that he could be one to watch potentially if he can get some more minutes.